Hello and welcome everyone to Jazz Up Your Life with Judy. Oh yeah, we got to get some jazz on here. I'm your host, Judy Anderson. Thank you so very much for coming on to hear this show today, which I know is going to be great now that we're starting with it, because our guest today is Nidhu Kapoor. She is a moon worker, pain exterminator, a clearing expert, and retrograde specialist. She's the owner and sharer of the world's fastest healing modality, which I heard her working on just a little while ago. Her modality is called WORDS. It's World of Retrograde Decrees Switch Sentences. She's a word scientist with the ability to decode messages of individual energies as well as universal energies of our time. The intuitive planetary reader brings her unique blend of wordsmithing to give you the quickest way to heal, shift, change, and transform your life, your health, and your wealth. Her work marries the best of Eastern wisdom and Western knowledge and is called Angel and Miracle Worker. Speedster is her middle name, and thousands of people around the world vouch for her and her work. Prepare for some life-changing, mind-blowing, and heart-opening healing with just the use of 2, 3, 4, 5, or maybe 6-word sentences called switch sentences. So everyone send a lot of love to our guest today, Nidhu. Hello, welcome to Jazz Up Your Life with Judy.
Thank you, Judy, and thank you, everybody, for your patience, for waiting. I'm so happy you're still here, and I'm delighted that we are going to be chatting more about Saturn decrees, which are one of the most powerful word sentences you could ever use. It takes a second to say it, and it takes a few seconds for it to work. So thank you for being here, and thank you, Judy. I'm delighted to be on.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to have you on since our conversation some time ago to share you with the Jazz Up community. It's always wonderful to introduce someone who's doing heart-centered and effective work in the world. So how did you start doing this kind of work?
It's a wonderful question, Judy, and I wish I had a mind-blowing answer to that. I don't actually. I've always loved words. You know, the way to most people's heart is through their stomach. For me, it's through words. And well, in playing with words about 2.5 years back, I had this sentence that just popped into my head. And the moment it popped into my head, there were all these reactions that began in my body. And in retrospect, when I looked back and understood what was going on, I realized that I was being given these particular sentences to use for a particular purpose. For example, the time that I got these sentences, Saturn was just about to go retrograde. And I know you're going to ask me what a retrograde is, and we'll get there. But the sentences were given for karma completion. The sentences were given to upgrade DNA. The sentences were given in order to make sure that we use the power and potential of a retrograde period. And a retrograde period was coming up just a couple of months later when I got the first batch of sentences. And this year, Judy, all planets are going retrograde. So I can't think of a better time for more of us to know about these particular sentences and to experience for our work.
So why are they all going retrograde? Is this kind of unusual? I know I'm familiar with Mercury retrograde, but is that unusual for all of them to go retrograde in the same year?
Yes. Normally, some planet or the other, or a couple of planets or the other, don't go retrograde with the others. There are some biggies that usually do go retrograde, And Mercury is a smallie. He's the smallest of all planets, but he goes retrograde 3 to 4 times in the year, which is why he's the most famous. He's a celebrity when it comes to retrograde. We're all familiar with a Mercury retrograde and what it does to us. And just by the way, a Mercury retrograde just got over some weeks back, and he will return in June again. But to have all planets go retrograde means there's something huge taking place in the world, as we can already see. I mean, the coronavirus is here and changing all of us, making us realize so many things about ourselves, about the way we work, about our jobs, our relationships, our relationship with money, our relationship with our health, our bodies. Everything is being questioned. Everything is being turned topsy-turvy. This is not just because all the planets are going retrograde. They're going retrograde to support us in this time. The one planet that's going retrograde on April 25th and in whose shadow period we currently are is Pluto. And a Pluto retrograde is a time of absolute and complete change and transformation. In fact, not to frighten anybody, but Pluto is the lord of death and rebirth. And if you look at your lives, you're being pushed to a rebirth. You are being pushed to change paradigms, dynamics. You're being pushed to take a look at everything that's gone by, let it go, and adapt to a completely new way of being with ourselves and with Earth. This is a very Pluto retrograde energy. A retrograde time. So sorry, Judy, you were going to say something?
No. Just go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll hold my question.
I was going to say a retrograde is an optical illusion, but it is an astrological phenomena that takes place every year. So in a retrograde, it's the same as us being in a stationary train, and the train next to us starts to move and we think we're moving. Or we are traveling and we see an aeroplane and it looks like that aeroplane is stationary because it's traveling relative to our speed. The same thing happens with planets. When a planet at a certain distance, at a certain speed in orbit moves around Earth, we on Earth sense that that planet is going retrograde. So even though it's an optical illusion, the backward movement, which is what a retrograde is, movement is an illusion. However, the effect is very real. So Pluto going backwards is also taking us, if you notice, to a much simpler time and a simpler way of being. We have to cut down on our consumerism, on our excesses. We're being asked to return to a way that we used to coexist with the planet, with the flora, with the fauna, with animals. And this rethinking is typical of all retrogrades. You have to step back and take another look. You have to step back and take a new look. Like Mercury, everybody knows. It breaks down communication so that we can start having new communications, so that we can think before we speak, so that we can process and manage impatience and irritation over delays and traffic jams that take place when he shows up. In a Pluto retrograde, it's very important to rethink your whole life, to overhaul everything showing up. The past will show up, the present will show up, a glimpse of what the future can be will also show up. So therefore, in a Pluto retrograde, the power of healing is that much more. The potential for healing is that much more. The opportunity for healing is that much more. Everything that was buried in our subconscious and our unconscious is now in our conscious. so that we can do something about it. And the fastest way to do something about it is to use switch sentences, also known as quick phrase.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love that. The Pluto, it's during this time now, I haven't known all of this about the planets in retrograde and anything, but I've been saying that it's such a great time. It really is that people are going back to simplicity. Families, I see on Facebook, are reconnecting and being creative. And even my neighbors, I saw them doing some building blocks on the patio, on their deck. And they're just doing simple things, and it's bringing people together, families together. So I just think and people are slowing down.
Yes.
I think that is so great. So, wonderful. It's an exciting time because you're talking about rebirth with Pluto and everything. I feel that's what we're going through, and it's beautiful.
Absolutely. And with rebirthing, as with any birth, there are always labor pains. Whatever
Right.
you're going through right now, it's just a labor pain. And that labor pain will pass. You will be rebirthed because Earth has rebirthed and we have to catch up. So whatever is going on in the world, however it's triggering you, whatever levels of stress it's bringing up in you, I can't wait to share with you how we can bring that down in just a few seconds. Because I think everybody knows this because you've been on the call with Judy. Judy knows this so well. There's nothing we can't accomplish from a space of ease and peace. In fact, it is in a situation of stress that we make our worst decisions, that we come up with very short-term solutions, and long-term stress, as everybody knows, contributes to poor health, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially. Stress only attracts more stress. So when we can release the energy and the frequency and vibration of stress, we have a fighting chance not just to overcome this current crisis, but to have the life of our dreams, the body of our dreams, the relationship of our dreams, the finances of our dreams. Our dreams are on the other side of stress.
Yes, on the other side of stress. Stress is such a big thing. I wonder if anyone is free of it in the world today. And you say that you can release it in seconds. So with just 4 words. Do we get to hear the 4 words at some point?
Absolutely. In fact, if you will tell me what kind of stress levels you have, or we can check with the group what kind of stress levels are going on, you are most welcome to mention what's causing the stress or not mention what's causing the stress. Because in working with the stress, I'm just going to retrograde for a couple of seconds.
Okay.
Stress is stressful because it's multiple layers. You see, when we have fears or a fear, it's easy to identify. Stress is multiple layers of fears, some of which, you'll recognize, some of which you won't recognize. For example, you could be stressed out about your job in the future, because one of the things that's taking place in the world is that salaries are getting slashed, and this can bring up great anxiety and great amounts of insecurity. And by the way, worry, anxiety, insecurity, fears, phobia, trepidation, nervousness, all of these are signs of stress. And stress carries the energies of all of these. So when we work with stress, we're not working with one layer. We're working with multiple layers and multiple fears. I'll give you another example. Like being stressed about public speaking. So being stressed about public speaking is the fear of not being understood. It's also the fear of not being heard. It's the fear of failure. It's the fear of forgetting. It's the fear of success. It's the fear of not fulfilling expectations of that presentation. It's the fear of letting down your seniors or the authority figures involved in that presentation. You see, the stress around something as simple as public speaking is not just one thing. It has multi-layers, or technically what is known as aspects. When we work with stress, we also end up taking care of all the aspects. Like whatever it is, whether it's the first three that I mentioned or the last four I mentioned or all of them, when we use the decree, aka the switch sentence, everything switches. So even if you have many aspects, they will all start releasing and clearing.
That is great. Now, what is the energy? Is it the energy of the words themselves, or how does this work?
I love this question. I love it. So to answer your question, Judy, the energy is the energy of the words in a particular sentence said out loud. The definition of a decree is that it is a command. So the command is always spoken, right? You don't think a command, you say a command. So the words in a certain order, spoken out loud, is the energy. Judy, it's like me saying I love you versus the opposite. Just like that, the order of the words of the decree are very important. When you hear the decree for the first time, there could be a temptation to adapt it to another word. It doesn't work as well. This particular phrase that we're going to give to you very shortly, this particular phrase has to be spoken only as such. It will work on everything that is disempowering, that is making you feel bad and small about yourself, because it is one of the most potent clearing sentences in the world. And I can't wait to share it with you, but whenever Judy says.
Now, how did you come upon this? I mean, are you given words? Do you download the words, or how do you get these words that you're saying that we have to use specific words? How did those come about? Is that something that you've been given from?
Yes, that's right. I was given this by deities, by ascended masters. I had Lord Hanumanji, Lord Shivji, Lord Ganpati, and Saturn himself present in the moment of giving the sentence. So the way that I get it, you could call it a download, although it's a very clear sentence in my head. And the sentence was given to me as exactly that. And in a couple of days, the ways to use the sentence, the adaptations to the sentence was given to me, and given to me as clearly as that. It was a thought that was planted in my mind. But when I did do a breakdown, and I said, how is this working? I saw all of these beings present in that moment. I mean, I still remember that moment and the gush of energy that started flowing through my body. It took me so much by surprise, and in fact, surprise, stunned, can't believe it. It's so weird. I'm looking for it. I can't find it. I hear these words very often when people use the decrees. And of course, I also hear the word, this is a miracle. How could this happen? Well,
Right.
It just does. The sentences carry a certain cosmic force to them, a cosmic divine force to them. And they're very simple sentences. So it's not like I'm going to give you a mantra in Sanskrit. It's very simple English. It's 4 words that will take you 1 second to say and just a few seconds to realize the shift. I want to mention something else here, Judy. 2020 is also the year of the empath, people who feel very strongly. And you're an empath, Judy, so I know you know this word, and I'm taking it for granted that your tribe knows this word. And empaths feel very rapidly because empaths have the power to pick up on the collective consciousness. And for empaths, this is a very important year for clearing and processing not just what happens to them, but also what they are picking up on. Because as quickly as an empath can absorb, an empath can clear. So those of y'all who are empaths, y'all will have the maximum amount of awareness of how energies are shifting.
Interesting. Really interesting. So yeah, most of the people are empaths. I have a lot of healers and everything that listen to the show, so understand what you're saying. So anything else that you want to tell us about this creation of these 4 words?
Why don't I tell everybody what the 4 words are?
Okay, we'll get down to it. Okay.
Okay. So everybody, please work with me on this. On a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 is not at all and 10 is very high, can you please rate your stress levels right now?
Oh.
And Judy, I know you hold the space for the group. So whatever number comes to your mind.
At the right now, in this moment. Now, if we said before the show, when we were trying to connect you, I would say it was 10. But right now, I'm just here. I don't have any. But for the group, 5 or 6.
All right, 5 or 6 it is. And in fact, Judy, you can look back to those few moments when, I just couldn't hear and Judy just couldn't hear me, and that's never happened to either of us. So we were wondering, and 16 minutes had gone by in connecting, disconnecting, reconnecting. I gave the decree in the middle of it all and then realized we had another solution, which we then used. So also tell me, where are you feeling this stress? You know the number that you rated it for. Also tell me the body part. So Judy, when you look back to that time of 10 on 10 stress between us.
Oh gosh, I have to go back there. Where did I feel that stress? Probably. Oh, I think it was a whole body thing. It's like, this has never happened in 7.5 years.
Correct.
It probably the core of my body. Probably the core.
Your body and at a 10. And I'm so glad Judy brought that up, because I also want you to see this. If right now you are not feeling the stress, you can think back to a time when you were feeling the stress. As you know, everything works in various patterns. So even if we go back to a time and clear stress from there, it will open up something for us in our present moment as well as our future. So, everybody ready?
Right. I'll speak for the group. Yes.
Yes. Thank you. And yes, by the way, is a switch word as well. It's one of the most powerful words in the healing journey. More on that later. For now, here's what you're going to say. You're going to acknowledge the stress. Stress, and you're going to give the decree. So, stress, you can leave now.
Now?
Judy, would you say that one time?
Stress, you can leave now.
Beautiful. I love how you said it. gentle firmness. Fantastic. I'm going to give it just about 5 to 10 seconds.
I can feel the energy in my body.
Beautiful. Look back to the time you don't want to look back at, where it was a 10 minute score, and tell me, where do you sense that energy level now?
Back there when I had that, well, see, like I said, I'm fine. And I could feel that energy going around my core area.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So now when you look back, you're only aware of some movement in the core area, not aware of the number anymore.
Yeah, I would say that. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
All is in divine order too. I'm a firm believer in that. And then because for me, I got to go through stress before this show, which was really good.
Correct. Is there any way for anybody in the group to tell us how they're feeling?
Yes. Does anyone, you can write in if you would like to tell us what your stress level went. Anyone want to write in about what your...
And by the way, the decree will keep working. How is your core right now?
My core, like I said, I feel good. I feel lighter. When we started talking about this, and I said I didn't feel stressed, but after we said the decree, I feel lighter. I just feel my being is lighter than it was before, and I wasn't really being stressed out after we got on the show. That I wasn't stressed about. I didn't think I was, but even then, you're talking about layers of stress, that those words, they're made a lightness within me.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. And the moment we have lightness, we have clarity. The moment we have clarity, we have focus. This is a great place to get answers, to get solutions, to be at peace and at calm when you're dealing with whatever it is that you're dealing with right now. We want stress to leave. Stress has been linked to all kinds of diseases and all kinds of distresses, including weight gain and insomnia. So,
yes. Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is that you're dealing with, invariably there will be a stress level attached to it. The moment we release that stress level, either you'll find a solution like we found a solution, or it will not matter to you so much anymore, and you will be able to do what it is that you were going to do till the stress took over. Stress can paralyze us. Stress can hold us back. Stress can make us so agitated and so restless that we don't focus on the constructiveness and the productivity that's possible in the situation. Tell me, how are you all doing right now? How is your stress? Do you feel lightness? Do you feel like something is leaving the body or has left the body? Did your shoulders come down? Did your breath become a little easier?
Okay, now Lisbeth wrote in and she said she went from 4 to 6 to a 2. And Shirley said stress was 10, is now 7. I feel lighter. Will it clear all layers at once?
It does clear all layers at once. Depending on how many layers you have, it'll just keep taking a few more seconds. Like, I'm not going to give the decree again, although we can, because I want you to see how you are feeling in the next 1.5 to 2 minutes. All aspects will start clearing. Some aspects are stubborn. Some aspects say, listen, you got to identify me. You got to name me. And when that aspect comes up, all you will do is say anxious about or worried about or agitated about or irritated about or fearful about so and so and so, you can leave now.
You can leave now. And then someone writes in, do we only need to say it one time?
Fantastic question.
Thank you, whoever you are.
Thank you. You do need to say it only one time. But I have noticed that with chronic projects, if you've been living with stress for a long time, you're used to stress. When you're used to something, the energy becomes that much denser. So if you think of the decree as this dislodger going in and removing the boulder of stuckness and removing the rock of stress, sometimes that dislodger needs to dig in a little more. In which case, the best principle to follow is the number of times that you identified the layers as. You know, when I asked you for the 0 to 10, what you gave me were the number of layers. Which is also why when Judy said 10, she also said, I felt it all over the body. Because 10 is all over the body. It's in many body parts. So when you said 6 or 7, you are most welcome to say, stress, you can leave now 7 times. Like Lisbeth said, it was down to a 2. It rose up a bit and then it came down. Correct?
Right.
And that can also happen because when the dislodging is taking place, that boulder can make itself more known for a couple of seconds only. It will pass. Whatever are the release symptoms, don't attach to them. They're on their way out.
Okay, now, interesting. There's one person who said she's on the phone. Let's go talk to her and see what her Lisbeth, is that you?
Hi, yes.
Yes.
Hi, Judy. Hi, Nidhu.
Hi. Would you share with us your experience of that, please?
Sure. I was feeling pretty calm before the call, and then as you guys started talking, I don't know if I was tapping into the collective or my own things, but I just started getting more stressed and anxious, and so it probably was around a 4 to 6, and I didn't think it was releasing, and then I just tuned into my body, and it just felt like it was really down to a 2, and now it's just really, with the exception of the pain from my sinus infection, the overall stress in my body is really low now.
Fantastic.
Yay, that's great.
But I wondered if it can work on a sinus infection, something like that too, that's not a belief or something. Can it work on the physical?
Absolutely. In fact, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much is your sinus infection right now?
8.
8. So 8 times, I want you to say the sentence, sinus infection, you can leave now.
Sinus infection, you can leave now. Sinus infection, you can leave now. I'm really feeling it in my head. Sinus infection, you can leave now. 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 Ooh, wow. Wow, it like wasn't releasing at all until the very last one, around 7 or 8. And some of my headache released and my shoulders relaxed. My legs got really tight, but my sinus area is a lot less painful.
And
still probably a 6, but yeah.
Fantastic. Can you see that your voice is also better?
No, I didn't notice.
Yes, your voice is so much more firmer as well as louder right now. It's fantastic. Judy, could you make out the difference in the voice?
Right.
Ah,
Lisbeth,
yeah.
just give this another 10 seconds. So from an 8, it came down to a 6, and it took us, what, 10 seconds to say it 8 times? It's come down to a 6. Check again. How much is it now?
It's probably a 4 now.
Fantastic. Let's wait another 10 seconds. And your headache is gone. And I remember that when you said it the second time, you said, I can feel something shifting in my head.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just with the second one. All right, check again. From an 8 to a 6 to a 4, how much is it now?
It still feels like it's a 4, but it feels like other parts of my body are relaxing a bit.
Nice.
So maybe like it'll keep releasing, like the head is staying at a 4, but I think the energy will keep releasing. Thank you.
will. It will. In fact, Lisbeth, thank you for being so sensitive that you were aware that other body parts were also relaxing, because I'll tell you this, whatever we're dealing with, wherever we're feeling it, there are always other body parts connected to it as well. So even if you can feel the shift somewhere else, it means that the layers and the aspects were hiding in those other parts. So everything is shifting. One last time, Lisbeth, where it was at a 4 and seemed like it needed a deeper dislodge, can you please say remaining sinus infection? You can leave now 4 times.
Remaining sinus infection, you can leave now. 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 Wow, with the last one, my shoulders just kind of dropped with relaxation.
Beautiful. How's the sinus feeling?
It's still, how should I say, it's moved from being fully on the left side. It's moved to like more of the center.
Good.
And it still feels like it's somewhere in the neighborhood of a 4, but I think it just must be a deeper thing, so it's just shifting around in my body maybe.
It is, for sure. And in fact, Elizabeth, thank you so much for saying that it moved. That's the other thing. When we've lived with something for very long, it gets stuck in a place. So even if you can sense it moving, it means the energy is releasing and shifting. So thank you for that as well, Elizabeth. And thank you. And keep us posted till the end of the call as to how you're doing.
I will.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Judy. Thank you,
Yes. Thank you. Much love, hon. Okay. Wonderful. You know, it's interesting because as she was talking and saying her things about, saying the decrees for her sinuses, I could feel the energy going through my body.
And I'm so glad you brought that up, Judy, because I was just going to say it. So when we work in a group, when somebody else hears the decree, even if you don't have the sinus infection, Judy definitely does not, you will still sense something shifting. You'll still sense something moving, which is why I love doing group work, because the magic of a group, oh my, it multiplies benefits for everybody, no matter who it is who's actually doing the process in the group. In fact, how is the group doing?
Yeah, how is the group doing? Shall I ask some more people?
Yes.
Let's see, there is some people on the... Oh, one lady is asking, this is a good time of the year, and it's a great question for many people. Jessie from Boise is asking, can you release weight with this process also?
Very much.
Great. question.
Very much. So we have three kinds of energies: mental, emotional, and physical. And these three layers of energy are defined by their density. Mental energy is the lightest because it's just a thought. Like you can barely hold a thought, right? How many of us tried to work with intention and then found that that intention was just constantly dissipating and we had to like ourselves in the body to continue it? Emotion, slightly heavier. Physical projects, the heaviest. Therefore, you would need to use the decree over a period of some time. Let me give you the decree for weight release. And by the way, we use the word weight release because whatever we lose, we go searching
Right.
for. And
Exactly.
everybody who's worked with weight loss knows this.
Right.
You lost it, then you went looking for it, then you got so excited about finding it that you brought back more.
Oh, shed
So
pounds, but don't lose them.
So we release the excess weight because we all need some weight. The aspects to weight have to do with protection and grounding and hiding. The aspects of weight also have to do literally with waiting. What are you waiting for? Whenever we've been waiting for something for so long, we get weighed down with the weight. The weight being W-A-I-T as well as W-E-I-G-H-T. So when we start working with weight release, we must be aware of all the aspects that are showing up and continue to release them. Because once you've given the decree and it comes against a stubborn aspect, that aspect needs to be identified as well. A generic weight release decree is excess weight you can leave now. And in fact, you've asked this question on a most powerful day. Tonight is the super full moon, and tomorrow the waning cycle starts. Waning means decreasing. Anything we want to clear and let go is helped in the waning cycle of the moon. So begin whatever it is that you wish to do around your weight from tomorrow. And may I have her name? Do we have her name?
Yes, I'll go back there and see. I believe we did. Jessie. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, you said Jessie. Jessie, the number of aspects showing for you is 104, which means that excess weight you can leave now. I would like you to do this 104 times starting tomorrow for 14 days till the new moon. What will happen is that one, you will be guided to the right food in the right time, in the right portion. You will be guided towards whatever is the best workout exercise regime for you. If it's just walking for 20 minutes, it's just walking for 20 minutes. You will be guided to certain lifestyle changes. One of the things I've always seen with weight release or with weight and weighty projects is insomnia. There is a very clear scientific relationship between lack of sleep and sleeping at the wrong time and weight gain, because in the body increases when we don't sleep and rest and rejuvenate our bodies. So you would also start feeling sleepier at the correct time. And all of these changes will start happening organically. I'll give you an example. I was working with somebody on weight release, and she was like, and the moment I explained all of this to her, she was like, I don't want to go on a diet. I'm really not too fond of exercising. I said, don't worry. You're comfortable with the decrees, you begin with the decrees. In 3 days of giving the decree, a friend of hers gave her a yoga DVD. She played the yoga DVD. She loved it. She hired a personal yoga teacher. So even if you have set results in your mind. Oh, I'm not going to do this, and I don't just see how I'm going to start sleeping by 10:30 p.m. Just begin with the decrees. Everything else will happen naturally, because the power of the decrees is to bring you back to a state of homeostasis, physically, mentally, and emotionally. I will also tell you that the aspects to weight, apart from body shame, humiliation, criticism, judgment, also have to do with various words: fat, heavy, stout, bulky. When these words come up, because these are disempowering words, just say you can leave now to those words. Excess fat, you can leave now. Excess bulk, you can leave now. Excessive heaviness, you can leave now. Use the word excess, because some amount of bulk, some amount of fat, and some amount of heaviness, we need to feel protected, safe, secure, and grounded. Will you try this for 14 days, Jessie? And will you let Judy know?
Yes, please, Jessie, do that. Would love to know. Now, I have a question for you, Nidhu. Now, you came up with a number. You said 104. Where did that number come from? How can people who are listening to this show come up with their number? You said that she should do 104 days. How can people come up with their own number that they should do it?
Ask yourself.
Just ask yourself. Okay.
Just ask yourself. And also, if you're thinking that a number that comes up will be very difficult, for example, I was working with somebody else about financial distress, and I asked, "What's your number?" on a scale of 0 to 10, and he said 2,000. Now, clearly, for a process that takes just seconds, I don't want anybody to be sitting down and saying it 2,000 times. So an easier way, and the easiest way, is to ask yourself, how much is this between 0 to 10? Like, how much excess weight in my body? How much is this financial insecurity in me? How much is the fear of the future and the uncertainty of the world right now? All of these are stress points.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, why don't I just do one for financial insecurity?
I was going to ask you to do that, because I think there are people in the world that, are going through that right now. So if you would do that, that'd be great.
Absolutely. And without asking you the SUD, I'm just going to do it 10 times, because that'll cover the entire body, and it will cover all group energies right now. Financial insecurity, you can leave now. Financial insecurity, you can leave now. Please join me in saying it as well. Financial insecurity,
you can leave now. Financial insecurity, you can leave now.
Financial insecurity, you can leave now. Financial insecurity, you can leave now. Financial insecurity,
you can leave now. Financial insecurity, you can leave now. Financial insecurity, you can leave now. Financial insecurity, you can leave now.
And because I gave it 10 times, let me give you 30 seconds instead of 5 seconds to process. Please make sure you're hydrated. And while you're processing, I'm going to share this story with B. Let's just call her B. So B was very financially stressed out because she was not getting supported by her husband, and she had to send her daughter the college fees. And as we know, and this is in the US, this is not a small amount. We did the work around financial stress. And by the way, all my sessions are just about 10 to 11 minutes, because we don't need more time than that with the decree. So we did an 11-minuter, and we made sure that she was feeling absolutely calm, fine, light. In the next 7 days, She got multi-million-dollar projects.
Oh.
Not just one, 7 of them.
Oh, my goodness.
So she was paying her daughter's college education fees for the next 3 years. She is a very successful businesswoman. She already had contracts like these. She was already comfortable with these numbers, and she had about 2-3 contracts. They more than tripled in 7 days. And she got somebody who was interested in a contract over the next 8 months for $40 million.
That is pretty good.
And I'm just going to give you all another decree, which is yes to that for all of us. So yes to that. When we say yes to that, you're saying, I am willing to receive that for myself as well. So yes to that. And everybody,
yes to that.
Yes.
Yes to that, everybody. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Can I do something that would be fun for just a second? Okay. Now, yes to that. I want everyone in just a second.
Yes,
okay. Now, everyone say it because you're all unmuted. So say it. Yes to that.
Yes to that. Yes to that.
Yes to that. Yes to that.
Yes to that.
Yes to that. Yes to that.
Yes to that.
Yes to that. Okay, great. Wonderful. Thank you for participating. Yes to that. Okay, so now, that is fascinating. This woman really had some success with that. That is, she was already successful, but I'm sure anyone who would, go 7 times what their current status is, that would be fantastic.
Yes to that.
Yes to that, yes. Yes to that. Oh my gracious, that is something. So, so Jessie, thank you for your question about the weight. That's very good, and so it's led into the finances. So, shall we take some callers?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's do that. We are going to Westchester. Yay, I love Westchester. Last 4 digits, 8470. Hello, and what is your name, please?
Hi, my name is Joanne. Thank you so
Joanne.
much. Hi, and I was at a 6 at the beginning of the call, and I went down to a 3, and now I'm probably in a really good place. So,
great.
And I did write in a question, but I'm happy to be on the phone to ask it myself. So I've been dealing with frequent bouts of tachycardia for the last 2.5 years. I had what they called an emergency surgery because I kept going into it and couldn't get out of it without major, having to go to the emergency room. But it only helped to a certain degree. I'm still having the experiences, just not as high in terms of how high my number goes. So one of my questions is, if I'm doing the decree, well, one question is, can you take a look and see if there's something else I might need to be saying? But if I'm doing the decree tachycardia, you can leave now, when I'm not having it, will that help to...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Julianne. And so good that you asked, because, it's like preparing for a marathon. You want to prepare before the marathon. So in dealing with a physical project, we must give it when we don't have the physical project. Tachycardia has a lot to do with minor panic attacks that have been suppressed over a long period of time. Has your life been very stressful, my girl?
Yes.
Yes. So,
and I've always felt like this is really connected to my nervous system, which is what you're talking about, really, I think.
Absolutely. In fact, what you want to do is, even if you don't go straight for the tachycardia, you can leave right now, although undoubtedly you'll be experiencing some energy shifts as you're saying that. Begin with the gentler versions of stress, which is panic, overwhelm, anxiety, nervousness. I've noticed with tachycardia, nervousness just shoots through the roof anytime there seems to be a potential crisis. Would that be correct for you?
It would have been correct in years past, but what I'm finding now with the tachycardia is like my alarm system, if the alarm goes off in the house in the middle of the night, I don't go into tachycardia. Those kinds of stress things don't always trigger it. It's something just bizarre, and so it's not always related to a stressful situation. But prior to having the tachycardia, I used to have episodes of passing out, and that would also come from my heart racing, my blood pressure dropping, and then I would pass out. So there's definitely that energy of panic underlying it, I think. Although it just, as I said, if something that would normally cause your heart to race happens, it doesn't always do that. It's weird.
Correct. And the thing about panic is it's usually a life and death situation, even if it's not one, but the body is responding like fear of survival. So fear of survival, stress. And do you know what your triggers are today, as in the current time?
The triggers tend to be more dietary and movement. So I'm not finding it to be as emotional. I also find that there are times when I ask, is this mine? And I get, most of the time I now ask, is this mine? And I get a no, that it's not necessarily belonging to me anymore.
Got it. At the same time, if it's shown up in the body, a little bit of this doesn't belong to me would ease up something. But because it's shown up in the body, if you took a little bit of care around the message the body is giving, because the body picks up on vibrations that it already has. So, so one of the things in the who does this belong to, it could belong to somebody else, but you may have lived with it for so long that some of it is yours. So if you do, of course, the other clearing statement that with who does this belong to, as well as the decree, it would be phenomenal. In fact, you can adapt these two processes very quickly and rapidly together because they both have to do with words.
Okay. So do both. Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank
Enjoy.
You.
Have fun.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you, Joanne, for your question. And now to LA, we're Naoko.
Yes.
Hello, Naoko. Is that your name?
Yes, Naoko.
Hi.
Hi, Naoko.
Hi, Nidhu. Thank you. I think that my girls' grudges against my parents or sister unsupported are welcome to anything really did pop up short time ago. So I'm listening to people, but at the same time I've been clearing this stuff right now. And can I ask you, do you think my grudges against my parents because of their unsupport or everything, do you think this is a real core issue why I refuse to move forward?
Yes, you've asked a very, very deep question, Naoko, and the answer to that is yes. Life repeats itself in patterns, and the youngest pattern is formed between the ages of 0 to 7. So if you look at whatever it is that you're going through, you will be able to trace it back to a very, very young memory. By young memory, I mean a memory of when you were much younger. this cyclic nature of life takes place so that we can get to a point where we can address what was going on once upon a time when we were powerless and choiceless. Because what takes place in our childhood is the fight, flight, freeze without us being able to fight or flee. So we freeze, and the freeze becomes part of our vibration. The freeze becomes part of how we start responding to life. Maybe the stimulus changes, like Juliana said, it's no longer emotional or sound. It has more to do with dietary and movement, but the reaction is still taking place. So the pattern, situation has changed, but the experience of the pattern has not changed. Somewhere there will be a aspect that will be not a single aspect, but quite a few aspects that will be coming from an earlier time. So feeling unsupported, you can leave now. Feeling unsupported by my parents, you can leave now. Unsupported by my parents, you can leave now. And Naoko, just hang in there. Judy, while the releasing of stress and anything other that is disempowering takes only 4 words, the same principle of the 4 words can be used to attract something as well. The power of the 4 words are the you, can, and now. So I want to use the opposite of that as well. So Naoko, try this sentence. Tell us how it makes you feel. Support. You can increase now.
Oh, could you please say again?
Support.
Okay.
You can increase now.
How many times do I need to say?
Just once. I want you to tell us how it makes you feel to say it just one time.
Okay. Support. You can increase in me now.
And we all heard you sigh, and sighing is a great sign of something releasing, the body relaxing, and something coming to a rest. Naoko, how did it make you feel to say it, even if you said it just once?
This is very powerful, and also this is a huge shift, and I can go to sleep. Wow. Oh, God. I think what I really wanted was the support. The pain on my left shoulder blade area is also, these pains are leaving.
Nice. Naoko hadn't mentioned the pain in the left shoulder, but even though we didn't give it for pain, you can leave now, that's releasing. The decrease will work on all stuck energies in the mind, in the emotions, in the body.
I think I just wanted to be loved by my parents and my sister, so yeah.
So love, you can increase now. Loved, you can increase now.
Loved, you can increase in me now. Oh, God. Wow. Even my right shoulder blade is responding so nicely.
Good. I'm glad. How's your left shoulder blade?
Pains are gone.
Yay!
Great. Wonderful.
I just have one question. I'm sorry. I sent to the Judy. Can I say yes to excessive wealth or richness?
I saw that.
Can I say that?
You can, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Feel free, use the decrees.
Yes, to excessive wealth. I love that when I read that. I was going to bring it up when you finished.
Yes to that.
Yes to that. Okay, well, thank you. Is there anything else that you need to clear up or complete with her?
Basically, absolutely. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you. May you enjoy your increased excessive wealth.
Yes.
Oh, funny. That is really great. So we did hear back from Liz that she said sinus pain is down to 0. Yay. An 8 to a 0. Thank you. Yes, that is such great news. I love hearing that. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. Yes, then Sammy's writing in from Phoenix and says, how do I use decrease to increase? Say I need to increase my finances or health. What are decrees to do that?
Finances, you can increase now. Money, you can increase now. One of the exercises that I love doing around money is this one. You look at your bank balance on your phone or on your computer, and you say, bank balance, you can increase and double now.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes, you command the money to work for you. At the same time, look at what this lack might be bringing up in you, because you know the law of attraction, as within, so without. If you are vibrating with anxiety and fear and stress around this, obviously it will take longer to manifest. So use both the clearing as well as the receiving. And in fact, when you do that, when you make space with what you've let gone off, the universe finds it easier to fill it up.
Mm-hmm.
So make space for more money in your life. The other thing I always recommend for whatever the project is decluttering. Make decluttering like brushing your teeth, and I'm just going to take it for granted that everybody's brushing their teeth. And if you're not, please do. So brushing your teeth, flossing your teeth, make decluttering a habit. Because decluttering is a physical way of making space for more to come in through our windows and doors, for more people to come in with more opportunities and resources.
And that's a good time now that so many people are confined to their homes. So if you're sitting around bored, just declutter. And that will support you and all of these decrees, support you in your life and your decrees. So yes, that would be great. So Sam says, thank you, Nidhu and Judy. Great. So wonderful. So now let's go to Michigan. Hello. Last 4 digits, 6350. Hello. What's your name, please?
Hi, my name is Melissa, and I just happened to think of something when just now, when you just said that about increasing finances, and then you said to clear first. So if we use the word, let me think of something really quick. Okay, like fear. If we use the word fear when we're doing decrees, is that would that not, what am I trying to say? Would that not be a good thing to use that word in a decree? Would that, or just say fear around wealth or fear around money be gone first? Or you can leave now. Would you say that first before you say the ones that you just talked about, the bank balance?
I would recommend that. You are most welcome to play with it as and how you want, because I've noticed that for people on the healing, learning, and unlearning journey, some of us like to work with manifesting and attracting. Some of us like to work with clearing. Like empaths like to do clearing work.
Yeah.
So clear, surrender the results. When you clear space, the universe will fill it up with wonderful things. In fact, when you do this work, because it's so rapid, in 24 to 72 hours, you should be able to not only sense a shift, but also see something in your reality. Either money coming in, or treats coming in, or compliments coming in, or opportunities coming in, or reconnections with old friends coming in, or parties coming in, or treats coming in, or gifts coming in, or people responding to you better. Like in India, we have household help, and household helps are very important to us. So you will see that there is an immediate change in the dynamic between you and whoever it is you're interacting with at home. The opposite can also happen. You may find that you are feeling very short and snappy, like more than usual. And that's because the decrees always bring us to authenticity and truth. Most of us suppress and repress our emotions and our expressions. In order to be good, in order to keep the peace, in order to be positive, most of us do our expressions a great disservice. So if you've been doing that and there's a lot suppressed and repressed, the decrees will bring it up in order for you to be more in your truth. And is it enough to say, fears, you can leave now? It is. In fact, in my package, I have 2 MP3s. Actually, I have 5 MP3s. 3 of them are gifts for all of y'all. 2 of these MP3s have a certain way that the decrees are being spoken. Like I say, fear, you can leave now. My mother's fears, you can leave now. My father's fears, you can leave now. My child's fears, you can leave now. This is because fears are a learned experience, as is anger, as is grief. As a learned experience, the place where we learn all of this from is our family. We do carry our mother's emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. We do carry our father's emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. So in the MP3, you will have not just the clearing of fear, but all the words associated with fear. I mean, the MP3 has like 150, has about 200 decrees in them, including the positive affirmation. There are 3 positive affirmations that can be used. And in fact, tell me, what is it that you would like to attract? What is the opposite of fear for you?
Courage.
Super.
Safety. Like be able to, speak my truth without being fearful from past memories.
So courage and confidence?
Yes, that would be nice.
All right. On a scale of 0 to 10, how strong is your sense of fear right now?
10.
All right. So fear, you can leave now 10 times. Let us make space for courage and confidence. Go ahead. As you say it, it will work on everybody else as well.
Fear, you can leave now. 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 Fear, you can leave now.
Give it 5 seconds. How did it make you feel to say it?
Weird. It made me, I felt powerful. I felt empowered by saying it. And then the feeling in my body was very visceral, and it was around my heart and throat area, just really a lot of, I still feel it. It's a lot of movement right there, almost like a nauseous feeling too coming up, which is kind of interesting because I wanted to ask at the beginning of the call. I had so much gas pain and I was feeling so miserable. I wanted help with that, but through the call that's been dissipating. So so thank you for that, everybody on the call.
I'm so glad. Gassiness, bloating, nausea, these are all symptoms of fear. So how's the nausea right now? Can I help you a little bit with that? Because that's an awful feeling, right? That pukey feeling.
Mhm. And it feels stuck in my right at the base of my throat, at the base of my neck is where it feels stuck at. It's just like this. Yeah.
And
it's just nauseous right there.
In order to express yourself, you would need to use that area, right? Which is where it is stuck.
So, yeah.
Is the fear of speaking up?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, it's clamped down very tight when you said that. It was like...
All right. On a scale of 0 to 10, how much is the fear of speaking up?
10.
Oh, my love, is there overwhelm coming up?
Yes.
And that's another symptom of fear. Let me release it for you. Sit back. Don't fight it. Let it come. Overwhelm always requires tears. Let the tears flow. Don't block them, my love. You are in a very safe place with Judy and everybody else. Overwhelm, you can leave now. Overwhelm, you can leave now. Overwhelm, you can leave now. Overwhelm, you can leave now.
Oh. Oh, bless you, Nidhu. I feel that.
Go ahead, my darling. Go ahead. Express whatever's coming up. Practice with us.
Grief.
What the decree brings up, the decree will bring out. Let it come, my darling. Don't suppress it anymore. Better out than in. You don't know what all kinds of havoc it must have been creating inside the body. You felt it most in your chest and throat. And this is also an area of panic. So you would not have been breathing properly. You would have been walking around on eggshells. Every time an expression would come up, you would have been quickly swallowing it. So your tummy also wouldn't have been very okay.
Right. Yes, exactly. And it moved into my lower, my gut. So thank you. Oh, it's so true. It's all so true. Thank you.
We're not done. So stay with us. Stay with us. I'm holding you. I'm hugging you. We're all holding and hugging you. Please cry. Please cry and be.
Yes. We will hold you in our embrace, Melissa. Okay. Should we go on, Nidhu?
Yes, my darling.
And let her with her process? Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Melissa. You brought up some wonderful things for everyone. The overwhelm, that is something that a lot of people are experiencing. So that was great. Now, Nidhu, you mentioned what you're offering, your special program. So I'd like to go over that, and then there are a couple more questions I'd like to respond to. But let's go to jazzupyourlifewithjudy.com/Nidhu, Nidhu, and the number 17. And there you'll see what she has offering for all of you, which is really wonderful. There are 3 MP3s. And these, I mean, if you look at everything that they work on, it's amazing. It is amazing. These 3 clearing MP3s. And it's like after this, will you need anything else? It's like these, yeah, I mean, really. I mean, when you look at all of those things, the clearing, I mean, you're just going to be a vessel of light.
Yes, to that.
All of these things will be gone and you'll just be shining so brightly. So all of these MP3s, and you can look over, I'm not going to read all of them, but you can look over what all she addresses in these 3 MP3s. And I was listening to 1 or 2 of them the other day. She really covers a lot, And there are different things you can experience. And I want to point out, too, with, where it's really healing, sometimes a person will have symptoms that you think, oh, it's making me feel bad. But that's really, it's working because something's coming up and out. Just like when you do a detox with food, sometimes you get nauseous and things, but it could just be that you are releasing and clearing out. So as you do these programs, please be sure to drink sufficient water. So what would you like to say about these 3 MP3s, Nidhu?
Well, given the times that we are in right now, these 3 MP3s are on fears, illnesses, and diseases. There are many synonyms for fears, for illness, for disease, and they're all covered in the MP3. In fact, you will get a list of all the words used as well. These 3 MP3s are for everybody. If you've shown up, these MP3s are yours. You can use them on mute. You can use them loud. If when you use them loud, you feel like you're having too many reactions and you're not enjoying the shifting, play them on mute for a couple of days, for about 3 days, and then start listening to the words.
Okay. And then the next item are two more MP3s. And
yes.
These are, tell us about those, please.
So these 2 MP3s are the MP3s for the package. This is if you pick up the package, you get these 2 particular MP3s. The one on fear is included in one of the clearing MP3s. The clearing MP3s has synonyms and all aspects of fear, anger, grief, as well as 70 cognitive disorders. You probably know cognitive disorders as limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are the same as judgments, and we all invariably have some limiting belief, some judgment or the other in the way of the life that we want. For example, one of the biggest ones is, I'm not good enough, right? All of us have come across this at some point in our life. It's a cognitive disorder, because if you were not good enough, you wouldn't have been born. It's as simple as that. But we don't know this. So in our understanding, and cognition is understanding, it's comprehension. We keep living with this program. I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. And you can imagine what an abundance and prosperity and money and love stopper that is. Because if you're not good enough, then all of these things that will make you good enough won't come. Or if they come, they will come in very limited amounts, and we will actually let go of them very rapidly. We're not able to sustain that because the vibration takes over. Like that, we have 70 very big cognitive disorders, and all of them are in the Clearing MP3. Clearing MP3 1, and the other is the Actualization Fulfillment MP3. Like when we use the decree, you can increase now. There are 3 fulfillment actualization decrees, and these are, and Melissa, let me use them for you. Courage and confidence. You can increase in me now. I am an expert at being courageous and confident. I am an expert immediately sets the left brain working. That if I'm an expert, I would know this, I would know this, I would know this, I would know exactly what to do. I would know exactly what to say. I would know exactly how to behave. I am an expert at being courageous and confident immediately brings us the skill set of being an expert. And you can say that for anything. I'm an expert money magnet. How's that? Yes,
I think everyone will like that one.
I'm an expert at attracting more money than I can spend. I'm an expert at having extra monies all the time. While these particular sentences are not part of that fulfillment decree, there are other words as well that we all do want. Love, beauty, joy, laughter, happiness. In fact, I think I have one for sexiness as well, because why not?
Oh, really? Why not?
And by the way, why not is another decree. When you use it without a question mark, it's Uranus's decree. Coming back to focus, the third and most powerful of the decrees for fulfillment is the what if decree. You see, all of us use what if to prepare for the worst. What if this doesn't happen? What if the world is not a place I can recognize anymore? What if this lockdown just keeps continuing? Always using the left brain to prepare for the worst, which is also the left brain's job. But when you use what if as a statement, what if I am a money magnet? What if I can attract monies easily? What if I am courageous and confident? You use it as a sentence, it's a decree. You use it as a question, it's just another way to drive yourself up the wall. These three, you can increase in me now, which is a version of you can increase now. What if, and I'm an expert. And I have been with the world's most powerful and beautiful words in the second MP3, which is your fulfillment MP3. I highly recommend that the clearing MP3 be played in the waning cycle of the moon, so we are supported by the universe's energies, and the fulfillment MP3 is played in the waxing cycle of the moon, which is the cycle that just got over today, which is the cycle to attract. Having said that, there are no hard and fast rules in this work. You are most welcome to play them, use them as you like. Have fun with them. First play the clearing MP3, then play the manifestation MP3. Play the manifestation MP3 first, then play the clearing MP3. It's all right. You will know what to do once you've heard them once. I will repeat, if the reaction symptoms are too strong and you get overwhelmed with everything that's coming up, play them on mute for about 3 days and then start hearing the words again.
All right.
Apart from this, you have a very concise PDF that explains the decrees, gives you options of how to use the decrees, including for others, as well as lists down the exact order and words and sentences that have been used in the MP3s, all 5 MP3s. That PDF is a PDF that I give for those who are committed to this journey of healing themselves in ways that make you feel empowered. Because what could be simpler than saying you can leave now, or you can increase now, or the what if, or the I'm the expert, or I am an expert, something, something, something. Nothing simpler than that. Nothing empowering than that. So sorry, Judy, did you want to say something?
I was just going to go on to the next thing. You have 3 group calls of 2 hours each.
Yes.
That you'll be removing stress on the many live sessions, and people will be able to work with you, which is interesting. And also I want to say, if you cannot attend live, the replays will just be as powerful and as potent as the live sessions, but it would be wonderful to join in on those sessions with her.
Yes. They'll take place exactly like they took place right now with Melissa, with Julianne, and Nauko. It's going to be exactly like that, where we will take on callers live and work through it, because as I mentioned in the beginning, the power of group means even if there's one person working, it's going to impact all of us.
Right. Yes. So, and then she has one speedster session of 11 minutes for one particular issue. So that is also included in this. So, and do you want to add anything to that?
11 minutes is really the maximum amount of time that we need when we've identified what we're working with. Whatever is predominant for you on the day that you book, mention that in the notes, because you will be given a calendar, and that calendar does ask for some amount of details. When we speak, if some time has gone by and you have something else that's come up that you want to work on, you are most welcome to change it when we speak as well. I will tell you, I was looking at knee pain for this particular person. We finished the session in 2 minutes because it got over. There was no knee pain anymore. And it was, I had this emergency call where this girl was in a public gathering and her mother-in-law was just being so judgmental and negative that it was just drowning out the party. And it was her party where her mother-in-law had been invited. And she called up and she said, I just don't know what to do. I think everybody's going to leave. I don't think they're going to have their dinner. We finished in 5 minutes. And over the next 15 to 20 minutes, her mother-in-law changed what she was talking about, and the party continued till the wee hours of the morning.
Oh, my.
So when you have that one thing that you're working on, that one particular trigger that's there, it's like Melissa said, fear. And in a couple of minutes, we came to the fear of speaking up. We would go after that completely. What I want everybody to feel out of the session is clearer, calmer, and lighter. The moment you are clearer, calmer, lighter, you are in a higher vibration. You are in a vibration of peace, clarity, solutions, answers. You will know exactly what to do next or allow it to happen for you.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And all of this she's offering for a special offer for the Jazz Up community for an investment of only $122. And if you'd like to be sure to take advantage of this, and if funds are a little low now, you could have 2 payments too. So, and you'll be able to have, you'll get the live calls and your session after the second payment, which is about a month later. So there it is. So, oh, wow, that will be great. Lives will be changed from that. And those of you who get this, I would really love to hear what you have, what the results that you have with that. So thank you. I appreciate your putting this together so much. So thank you. Thank you.
Could we check how Melissa is doing?
We can. Let me see. Melissa, quick check-in. How are you doing?
I'm doing much better, thank you. I'm so glad that you checked, because I don't have any other way. I can't talk on my phone and get on the internet at the same time, so I'm just grateful.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So fantastic. Great. So you're doing much better. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad. Thank you.
Yes. There is one that here that is a group process. Nina from Albertson. I've never heard of that, Albertson. Nina says, can we do a group process on the global situation right now? There are so many theories being circulated and creating fear in the collective. Thank you. And I think that also takes care of, was it Lou? That also, yes, is having some COVID-19 induced anxiety, depression, PTSD that got triggered by the current crisis. So could we do a process for everyone?
Most certainly. In fact, we will handle the situation better if we don't take on the collective anxiety, the collective fears, and the collective panic. So here's what we're going to do. Rate for yourself the anxiety or the panic or the fear or the worry. And all of us together, let us say, coronavirus, you can leave now.
Okay. Coronavirus, you can leave now. Now.
One of the most powerful numbers for change is the number 11. So 11 times, let's just say it, all of us.
Okay, should I unmute everybody again?
Yes, why not?
I'm going to. Okay, okay, now everybody. Now follow her lead and we're all going to do it together.
Coronavirus.
Okay, Nidhu. Now, we were talking about a group process on the global situation. We did that. So is there anything else that you would like to add to that?
Well, if there are any more questions, we could take them on. But yes, I wanted to ask everybody, you all had measured your anxiety, your panic, your fear, your worry. How is it now?
Okay. So yeah, if you can write that in. Okay. Now, April's writing in an interesting question because there are so many empaths here. Hi, Nidhu. What decree would be helpful for us sensitive empaths? I don't want to feel like I need to isolate in order to deal with the energy of others. Very good question, April. Thank you.
Correct. Very good question. The thing for an empath is always a matter of safety, where an empath rarely feels safe with too many people. At the same time, isolation also drains an empath. So one of the things that you could do immediately is take a look at what the emotion is around it. Like, how is it making you feel like you have to isolate? I don't want to is a thought. You can clear that thought as well. I don't want to isolate. You can leave now. But heavier than the thought will be the feeling around this. What is the feeling that you have around this? Irritated, annoyed with the powers that are in power, cranky, concerned about how you'll manage? What is it that's the emotion around this? Say that, and you can leave now. Do that.
Okay, so any closing words for our wonderful, very patient audience? I mean, this has been a technical. Let's see, what is my stress level? And laughter brings the vibration up, so, you know, it's all good. Oh, Mamma Mia. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my heavens. We're ending like we started.